Hello guys and welcome back to my Fate Grand Order Lostbelt 6 gameplay. So yeah, let us resume our journey. Alright, so we are here in Manchester. We fought Bargust and defeated her. And let's see now, see her proposition, what she has to say. Well, this has been a day of extremes. Wow, these gnocchi are so good. I love how versatile potatoes are no matter what world they come from. Yeah. These oysters are amazing too. I was a little shocked when they came out on that huge plate piled up to the ceiling, but damn, if I couldn't eat these things forever. Don't let the fancy presentation fool you, it's not nearly as impressive as it looks. What? Just look at all these meat pies dominating the table. There must be enough here to cover Gawain's entire shield. That makes pretty clear how vain Baggy is. He's obviously trying to break our concentration by overwhelming us with quantity and flourishes. Won't work on me though, yeah? Is that so? So you're not aware that you're taking a bite of a meat pie even as you speak? Oh man, this is really good. There, I changed back to my usual armor now that I'm done with both fighting and cooking. I do hope you like the food. I apologize that I couldn't make anything more than these simple dishes. Normally I would have my chefs do the cooking, but I had to give them a leave of absence as part of my house arrest. You mean you made all this yourself? Okay. That's right, but it's nothing too impressive. Well, I'm pretty sure it is. I merely imitated flower-based human culinary techniques and drilled them into me. It's a far cry from the gourmet cuisine they serve in Camelot. Oh wow, okay. Ha, is that so? I didn't think you, Tamlin, were so domestic. Wow. It must be hard being the lord of a hick town like this if you have to do your own cooking. I don't understand. Shouldn't everyone who plans to get married someday be able to do all manner of housework? Yeah, okay, I guess. Okay, let's not go down that path any further. Besides, we have other things to talk about. Indeed, now that we have come this far, I will be completely frank with you. Yeah, she wants to go with us, doesn't she? I want to keep the residents of Britain safe. That is why I pledged my horn to Her Majesty. But Her Majesty does not share that goal. In fact, she's actively working to worsen the Great Calamity. Yeah. She cares only for fairy Britain itself, not the Fae who inhabit it. So, here's my proposal to you, child of prophecy. If you mean to ring the bells of pilgrimage so that you may truly save Britain, I'm willing to fight for your cause. If need be, I will even rise up against the Queen herself during the Battle of Camelot that is now sure to come. You're serious about this, aren't you? I don't mind having you on board, but what about your pride as a knight? No, she said she's pledged loyalty to the people, not the Queen. And if you look at it through that, perspective, she is doing exactly what a knight should be doing. You know, she didn't pledge the loyalty to the Queen. She pledged it for the people. So yeah, she's doing exactly what she's supposed to do: protect the people. You really want to join our side even after you destroyed the human ranch and burned down the Welsh forest at the Queen's command? Yeah, I guess because obviously at that time she was thinking like whatever she's doing is for the future good of or to protect the people of Camelot. Like it's a necessary evil. I'm pretty sure she saw it in that way. That's right, even if it's a little too late, even if it is too late, too little too late, I still wish to join you. As to my crimes, you are welcome to convene a court-martial after the Battle of Camelot. Rest assured that I will expect no mercy. I will accept whatever punishment fits my crime. But first, I want you to promise me one thing. Fujimaru da Vinci, you have both said it is possible for Fairy Britain residents to migrate to proper human history. Like, the fact that she still doesn't know that humans won't be able to go, that's actually bothering me. I feel like she will be kind of disappointed after learning about it. If that is true, and you two are willing to tolerate fairies living among you, then I would ask that you please give the matter some thought. Her Majesty has already told me that our Britain is what is known as the Lostbelt. A world was meant to disappear to make way for proper human history. I believe it. I have no doubt that this Britain should never have come to exist. What makes you say that, Vargas? You want to protect Britain, right? So why do you think it should never have existed? Aren't those two ideas mutually exclusive? I guess, but in another way, if you think about it, she doesn't want this version of Britain to exist. Because here, like, the way that everything is going, yeah, it's way worse than proper human history. Because we fear this land, every one of us. I suspect you could ask any fairy in the land and they would give the same answer. At any rate, under Queen Morgan's reign, every fairy will perish by the end of the year. Yeah. I naturally have no notion of what our lives would be like under the Child of Prophecy's reign. But if there should be fairies who, under her reign, wish to move outside this world, I hope you would take them in. If worse comes to worse, and this Britain really does disappear, I could ask for nothing more than to have the fairies born here live on in your land. What do you think, technical advisor? I think it's a great idea. In fact, I can't come up with a single reason to refuse. The storm border is big enough to hold up to 500 refugees. Oh! I was wondering, like, how are they going to take them? Like, I feel like there's a lot of people, not people, but fairies live here, so will that be enough? They would have to live there until we resolve the bleached earth phenomenon, of course. Yeah, that's true. But as long as they're okay with that, they should be able to get by in the border just fine. Besides, this is exactly what the storm border was designed for. It's a modern day Noah's Ark. Oh wow, that's actually funny if you think about it, because Nemo and his, like in Arcade, the whole thing with, like Noah. Like, I don't know anything about it, but I just know that Nemo is supposed to be like the vessel of Noah or something. That's all I know. Nothing more than that I know. Okay, while there aren't very many of them, there have been a few vessels like that in proper human history. They served as literal lifeboats to preserve the future of the species they carried. 500 ain't a whole lot compared to the Fae population at large though. Yeah, you gotta be okay with that, Bargast. Yes, saving even a small number is far better than failing to save anyone, I guess. As long as you remember this promise, no, my wish, then I will gladly become a filthy turncoat for your cause. Of course, I am sure Sir Gawain would think poorly of me for this. However, briefly I used his name, I admit the very idea of betraying one's lord must be unthinkable to him. Gawain would have some choice words for you, but he'd also be proud of you. I see, so he really would scold me. But I have to ask, are you sure about this, Vargas? Never mind the politics, are you sure you can trust us, your enemies? Yeah, I'm sure you said something like this before yourself, Fujimaru. Even if the world is about to disappear, you didn't want to let what might come tomorrow, ruin today. And you were exactly right. Instead of worrying that might happen tomorrow, I should focus on what I can do today. That's a very interesting, I guess you could say, way of thinking. Okay, because this is one thing I've always thought about, like one of the biggest questions that I feel like every people who plays this game, who has started Lostbelt, must think, that why bother? Like Fujimaru goes to the Lostbelts and helps the people. By the end, he knows that he has to forsake them, So the fact that he's doing this, even though knowing, like, isn't it a little bit of, I guess you could say hypocritical, if you think about it? Like, oh, you're trying to save the people, who's going to die by the end of it, just because, of the whole Lostbelt pruning, and proper human history should survive. Just because of that, the Lostbelt will be pruned. So trying to help them now, isn't that hypocritical? Isn't that a little bit, like, is that okay? How can you do that? I've always thought about it. And like I said, like here, like, Fujimaru's way of looking at it is very interesting, where Vargas says here that even if the world is about to disappear, you didn't want to let what might come tomorrow ruin today. So yeah, like I realize it now, like that is Fujimaru's way of looking at it. Like, yeah, he knows that everything's going to, by the end of it, everything's going to be for naught, because the Lostbelt will be just gone, So helping them today, like, why does that matter? Because of this. As he says, like, whatever might come tomorrow, just for that reason, why should we stop living for today? That kind of thing. And it's a very, like I said, it's a very, I guess you could say, bold way of thinking. It's a very, bold way of thinking. That's a good way to explain this, because you need to have, what can I say, like, you need to have a lot of tolerance for yourself, like, because literally what you're doing is the definition of hypocrisy. So knowing that, still doing this, it takes a lot of balls, Like, just imagine this scenario. Like, you're trying to save someone who you're going to just betray in the end. Not betray, I would say, but you'll not be able to do anything for them in the future. Like, knowing about that, trying to help them, that takes a lot of, I guess you could say, courage. Because your conscience will be constantly, like, like just hounding you, and your own, like, self is going to constantly tell you that, oh, what are you doing? You're being hypocritical. You're saving this person, but a few days later, they'll die. So yeah, I guess it takes a lot of determination to have this way of thinking and actually pulling that off. Alright, I can't possibly turn you down at this point. Forgetting about a moment how in the world I'm going to explain these to Oberon. Yeah, Oberon won't be happy. Tamlin Barghest, if you really want to help the Child of Prophecy, you can do so in Camelot. Once the fighting there begins, you are to refrain from attacking the Round Table army. That part is absolutely non-negotiable. Aside from that, well, if you feel like neutralizing some of the Queen's army for us, I'm not going to stop you. Anyway, those are my own instructions. Any thoughts, Barghest? I'm surprised you didn't ask me to open the castle's gates from the inside for you. Did I not say you need not hold back on my behalf? I know, but I just don't trust you enough to rely on you for something so crucial. All you have to do is fight within your means. We can break down the negates ourselves. Yeah. Good point. If I were lying, you would certainly be in dire straits if you trusted me to open the gates for you. You've made the right choice, but I must admit I didn't expect you to be so severe. Personally, I don't think it's going to come to that. By the way, on a much lighter subject. Yes, I'm happy to answer your questions you may have. Could you introduce us to your significant other? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd love to meet them too. We heard all about it in the town. They say you come back to Manchester all the time just so you can spend time with your new squeeze? Wow. It's not all the time. I just come here as often as I can. Besides, he's not my significant other at all. He's just a human boy I take care of. I only love the strong. I would never even dream of taking a lover as weak, incapable, and devoid of a future as him. You sure about that? They say love is blind for a reason. You could just as well end up falling in love with the last person you'd suspect. I could. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that proper human's history's culture is so advanced. Wow. But I digress. Adonis, that's his name, is very weak. He's very sickly all his life. He's currently recuperating here in my mansion. While he was very excited to meet you when I told him about you, Fujimaru, I'm afraid he's been struggling with an unrelenting coughing fit recently. Oh. And I haven't been able to get him the medicine he needs thanks to the imminent great calamity. So I want to at least let him get the rest he needs. That said, I would be very grateful if you could come here to meet him after the battle at Camelot. I may not be able to come back myself, but I know you would all get along very well. Gotcha. Sorry for the uncouth request. I guess fairies aren't the only people you want to keep safe. Of course not. I may not hesitate to discipline uneducated humans, but even that is no more than the basic training human needs to survive in this world. Fairies and humans are two halves of one whole. You cannot treat them separately. Protecting fairies means doing the same for humans. Well, this has been a really productive talk. I'm glad we stopped by Manchester. I think that has been a good respite for you too, Artoria. You must have enjoyed getting to talk with an old fairy friend of yours, right? Sure, you might have been acting huffy, but you clearly also enjoyed the meat pie, seeing how you ate so many. Wow. A respite? Hardly. This wore me even more than acting the part of Child of Prophecy around the Round Table army. Now, if you're done here, let's get going already. We still have to make it to Lake District by nightfall. Lake District? I see, so you're going to Orkney. There may not be very moors up the north, but each individual moors there is stronger than what you are accustomed to. Oh, well, that's not good. And those in the Lake District are especially strong at that. Be careful out there. Thanks for the heads up. What is it, Vargas? Still got something on your mind? Yes, I was thinking about the relationship between master and servant you told me about during our meal. Oh. The Majesty has told me about servants as well. The servants are spirit beings that are retrieved from the chronicle of human history, a place beyond time known as the Throne of Heroes. Yeah? They come into being when their master summons them for a particular purpose. These servants then stay by their master's side, and should their master die, they vanish. Do I have all that correct? Yeah, there are exceptions though. There are a few, I guess you could say, servants who doesn't really vanish as soon as the master goes. You know, like, for example, I think like archers especially. Like, I remember Emiya being able to stay even after his, like, you know, breaking contract with Rain in Unlimited Blade Works for like 3 days or something, I remember. And then there's Media as well, I remember. She was able to survive for a while, even after the first contract got broken, and then Soichiro came in and took her in. So yeah, I think, like, what is it called? Like the independent action or something like that, which kind of helps them to stay a little bit. So yeah, it's not always true. Pretty much, yep. Why? Then it doesn't make sense. What? That a servant will obey master when the master is weak. Oh. I've wondered about that too, but no, that isn't what I'm talking about now. Oh. I'm talking about Beryl Gut. Oh, well, because yeah, like Morgan is not his master. I think that's pretty obvious by this time. Like, no, wait, what did I say? No, he's not Morgan's master. I think like that's pretty obvious at this point. He made a contract with her, like I don't know, like some kind of a contract, which isn't really master servant. Like, because it is true, like they kind of explained how Morgan has been here for so long. However, Belgust was just recently came here. So how did she survive up until now? Like, if, you know, like what's up with that? He claims Queen Morgan is the servant he summoned himself. But Queen Morgan has never called Belgut her master. Yeah. And above all, he only came to Fair Britain a few months ago, while Morgan has been queen for over 2,000 years. Exactly. That's what doesn't make sense. Her Majesty was alive and well long before this man came along. There's another thing that I don't know what's going on. Why is even Morgan allowing Beryl to, I don't know, like what did Beryl give her in return for a contract with her? I don't understand that. Like, what can Beryl give her that is some, like, you know, which is so precious that Morgan decided to make a contract with him, even though she's like the literal omnipotent queen of this place. Unless it is possible to summon a servant version of a currently living person. No, like, wait, is that possible? Not that oh yeah, it is possible. Emiya himself is one of the examples of that. But no, I don't think that's the case here. This is actually Morgan. Honestly, I've been wondering about that too. I can think of one possibility. Alright, let's listen. There have been a few cases where the future forms of heroic spirit with exceptionally complex histories have been summoned in the present day while their original selves were still. Yeah, but I don't think this is that case here. Is it? No, this is their original Morgan Le Fae. Isn't it? I don't know. And since in proper human history, Morgan was known to have 3 separate personalities, it could be that one of them was summoned here. Oh. No, but then who's the Morgan who has been ruling this place before Belgut came in? Like, who's that then? Like, what's going on? But of course, if that were the case, it would also mean there are 2 Morgans. Yeah, exactly. In Fairy Britain. Like, how did that happen? Oh, wait. Maybe that is the case. I don't know. Wait a minute. Beryl came here like... Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I don't suppose you've seen any signs of a second Morgan or even heard rumors of that effect? No, I haven't. There's only one Queen Morgan and she's not a servant. Okay. I have served Her Majesty for 200 years. I'm absolutely certain she is a fairy. Okay, so then... That's why I wish to ask you about this. Is this Beryl Gut truly Morgan's master? I doubt that. Alright, let's see. Oh, circumstantial change confirmed. The price has now been paid. What the hell is this? I have a proposal for you, chosen ones, an offer for those who were cast aside. If you desire acclamation, then choose rebirth. If you desire indolence, then choose eternal sleep. Alright, what is acclamation? Wait a minute, let me check. Acclamation. Okay, acclamation. Loud and enthusiastic approval. What? Indolence. I think indolence is like the indolence. Indolence is avoidance or activity or exertion. Laziness. Oh, laziness is a better way, I think. Oh, so it's literally saying like if you want to do something, then choose rebirth. If you just want to laze around, then choose sleep. Okay. It makes no difference to a god. God. It makes no difference? Well, it sure as crap does make a difference to me whether I live or die. Who is this? Living inevitably means struggling, while dying takes no struggle right off your plate. I've always preferred to keep things simple. I can't even dance if I've got too much on my mind. Dance. Acclaim, power, the future of humanity, being the best version of myself I can. Fact is, I don't care enough about myself to get worked up about any of that. Oh, it's Beryl. I was wondering if this is Beryl. Okay, Mr. Foreign God, I hear you, but before I give you my answer, can you tell me one thing? Alright, you know what? Now that I know who this is, let me read that again. Oh my god. It makes no difference, but it sure as crap makes a difference to me whether I live or die. Living inevitably means struggling, while dying takes the struggle right off the plate. I've always preferred to keep things simple. I can't even dance, I've got too much on my mind. The best version of myself I can. Fact is, I don't care enough about myself to get worked up about it. So this is the time when the foreign god made contact with, like all the cryptors. I asked him if there was anything in this world that actually mattered to me. And he answered me without a second thought. Guess that's a god for you. Oh, whoa, what is this? Oh, this is the whole... Okay. Interesting. I don't think they ever showed this part to us, like... Did they? Like, when Woodheim went with Kiristaria and... Oh, sorry, what am I saying? When Woodheim went with Beryl in the dream to save humanity, what happened by the end? I remember Woodheim saying something like, he was the only person whose heart I wasn't able to reach. Or something like that. Hey, Kiristaria, you made it back to life too, huh? Well, hey, that's awesome. I thought I'd be the first one out, but I guess I was dead wrong. I mean, we're talking about a foreign god here, right? One who says he's gonna refute all of human history? I figured the only ones who'd jump on a sweet offer like that would be me, Pepperoncino, or David. Not at all. I have as much desire as the next person. What could be more enticing than the prospect of creating a new human history? You'd have to be mad to refuse. Well, damn, I stand corrected. So you've finally shown your true colors, huh, Woodheim? Yeah, ironical for you to say that. I mean, there's been times before when I couldn't believe the stuff that came out of your mouth, but still. Anyway, you've got a real nice smile now. I like it. It's a big relief. That smile says, I'm gonna abandon all of humanity to their deaths so I can be king of the goddamn world. If you were all broken up about this while pretending to be one of the good guys, then I'd have some serious reservations about sticking with you. Do I really seem that different now than I did before? Nope, you didn't. That's why I'm so happy about this. You're actually being off your rocker this whole time. Oh well, at least I already knew on some level that the members of Team A misunderstood me in many ways. Hey, don't get all gloomy on me. I like this new you. So, what do you want me to do, Woodine? You're the team leader, yeah? And hey, now I finally get what the whole crypto thing was all about. That's right, you were brought into the Singularity repair missions for emergency contingencies, weren't you? You know about our secret serious lights and how to use them? You also know how they are designed to deliver the decisive blow to ensure the preservation of humanity. When the foreseen singularities appear in the 7 points in human history, we expect them to. I thought only me and Madsbury knew about the serious lights. Guess you did too, huh? Or maybe the phone god told you. Either way, you sure cut my work out for me. Well, you guessed it, I'm the cleanup guy. It's my job to dispose of anyone thinking about deserting the post. So, what are you gonna do with me now? Gonna kill me here while we're all alone as not to wreck team morale? No, I think your ruthlessness could be useful. I want to use it. Eventually, everyone from Team A will be resurrected and assigned a Lostbelt. From there, the foreign god will give us each a ticket to potentially become the king of the world in exchange for growing our Lostbelt's tree of emptiness. And I would like you to tear your ticket up. Oh, you don't mind, right? It's not as though that ticket will actually be good for anything. However, you can't be reckless about it. You'll need to do it in secret while making it seem as though you're still giving it an honest try. Interesting. Hang on, you're telling me to betray the foreign god too? And what was that about tearing up my chance to become the king of the world? Are you crapping me with? You'll be assigned the Isle of Britain. I took the liberty of choosing it for you. I assume you don't mind it being your homeland? Oh, is it? Okay. And if I do? Not even Mansbury was this unilateral about this decision making, you know. I see. Unfortunately now that I've already brought this up, I cannot pretend it never happened. If you refuse, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to kill you. Wait, what? Seriously? Do I get no choice in this? Thank you, Beryl. I'm glad we understand one another. You're the only one I can ask to do this. I don't know what that Lostbelt is like, but I do know Britain is crucial to the Magecraft world. There's no telling what could happen if the foreign god were to inhabit something which came from there. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, because I guess like Britain, because I guess by the end of it, in the modern times, the clock tower and everything, is that why he says like it's crucial to Britain is crucial to the Magecraft world? Is that why he says that? Because of the clock tower and like London being like the main headquarters of everything Magecraft related and all that. There's the one Lostbelt that must be cut down before it can grow to maturity. How you choose to go about it is your own business. But interesting. So that is why he told to just tear off the ticket, literally meaning not cultivating Britain's tree of emptiness because of this reason. Basically, you just want me to slack off like I've always done, right? Okay, pal, you got it. Besides, I never had much interest in competing to be king of the world anyway. This gig's way more up my alley. That said, Woodine, this is still a deal we're making, so I expect you to keep your end of it too. Once you become the king of the world, you better make damn sure I live it up in the top lap of luxury, alright? Alright, so the whole Lostbelt tree, that was their plan. Crap, there really isn't a goddamn thing here, is there? Well, apart from all the phantasmals and fairies and assorted nasty beasties running around, how's a place like this gonna be any threat to the new human history? I guess even Woodine gets it wrong every now and... No, wait, I remember that look on his face. Whatever is here, he was positive it was gonna be a problem. Maybe he knew about something funky going down in London that the rest of us didn't. Ah well, no sweat off my back, that just makes my job even easier. Now I can take care of the Tree of Emptiness without anyone getting in my way. Speaking of which, I should probably go about summoning my servant. Okay, here we go. Thanks for making sure each crypter could summon at least one servant, Marisbury. I mean, it was the least you could do after inscribing us with something as dangerous as Sirius Lights, but still. Of course, I still don't know exactly what kind of servant I'm gonna get. But I think I can make a pretty good guess. Alright, here we go. Whoever I summon, my only conditions that they're capable of destroying the world. Oh, I feel like... Oh no, it is Morgan. I am Morgan, the Fairy Queen, a ruler. Ruler? Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I thought... No, this ruler is different ruler. I thought she was talking about the class ruler. No, a ruler means like, like the person who rules over. Okay, I see. A ruler. I have come in response to your summons. You there, descendant of witches, are you my master? Okay. Interesting. So Morgan was the servant, but I still don't understand one thing. How can Morgan be ruling over the place for so many years, even though... So, is Da Vinci correct? Are there two Morgans? But no, but Vargas literally said that that is not possible. Like, this is the fairy Morgan that I know. So, in no way is this Morgan a different Morgan. Okay, I don't know. Alright, anyways, let's see. That was a good nap. I knew I made the right choice stopping here before heading home to Darlington. Oops, sorry Queenie, didn't realize you were still hard at work on the throne all by your lonesome. Still, don't you think it's time you chilled out just a bit, Morgan? The Tree of Emptiness is dead. Kiristarius was our biggest enemy, and we defeated him too. The Foreign God never got a hold of the spirit origin she wanted, and she never will now. There's nothing for us to be afraid of. We practically already won. So why not just relax? It's not like Kaldi or the Child of Prophecy are any threat to you, right? Of course not. I have never considered either of them to be my enemy. My only enemies are the humans who once rejected me, and the Isle of Britain that will reject the fairy Britain I've created. Proper human history itself is my enemy, and so I will not relinquish my throne until it has been truly utterly destroyed. Know this, Beryl Gut. The fault for Baobhan Sith's failure in Gloucester lies in part with you. If you are so inept to be unable to babysit a child, I will be forced to reconsider your position as both my husband and master. Tell Baobhan Sith she has had her final chance. I have clearly been so soft on her. It is time she learned to carry herself in a manner befitting my hair. Whatever you say, Morgan, she'd be a lot happier to hear that from you, but I guess that's too much to ask. You don't really love anyone, so there's no chance you'd allow an heir to take over for you. And I almost feel sorry for Baobhan Sith being being adopted by a woman as cold-hearted as you. Alright. There is something going on here which I cannot point my fingers at. Like... something like the fact... Oh, wait, we're in another fragment. The fact that Morgan has been ruling for so long, and there must be... I don't know. You know what? There is one possibility here. You saw when they were showing Beryl in like a place where he just came and he's like, oh, this place is empty. What the hell is this? That part is kind of a clue, I think. So what I think happened is that Beryl came to Britain, not Britain, but the fairy Britain here, when nothing existed, and he summoned Morgan, and then I don't know, like he probably, like, you know how he's like going from one Lostbelt to another, and then how he went to Lostbelt 5, like Olympus went and killed Bodine. You know, I'm pretty sure what happened is like he came to Britain, summoned Morgan, and then left. You know, and since time doesn't mean anything here, you know, like Morgan has been, like, something happened. Morgan has been ruling, for so many years, while Beryl, like, you know, like how, like they literally mentioned that the time in the Lostbelt is actually very fast than the time that is outside. Like, I think they mentioned how 1 hour outside is literally 4 weeks or something, like 52 days or something in the Lostbelt. 1 hour is like four weeks, or like, not 4 weeks, what am I saying? Like 3 months. No, not 3 months, 2.5 months, you know, like 54 days or something. If that is the case, no, what am I saying? God damn it. 54 days means 1.5 months. Yeah. So that time, like, you know, that time discrepancy is something that is actually happened here. So he went to like, you know, like the Lostbelt, summoned Morgan, and then left. And then, you know, like all the things are happening outside, you know, with the different Lostbelts, Beryl betraying Woodine, killing him. And then he went back to the Lostbelt again. And this little amount of time that he has spent outside, a lot of time has passed in Camelot. While Morgan over there has been ruling for a long time. So, you know what? I feel like that is a good way of... Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened here. Like, for him, not much time passed. He summoned Morgan and just dipped. And the little amount of time that he spent outside, a lot of time has passed in the Lostbelt. And then when he came back again, yeah, Morgan is still there. She has been ruling for a long time, for 2,000 years. Now that she came back. Now that Beryl came back, and obviously they're still contracted, so they're still master and servant. Yeah, you know what? I feel like that is what happened here. Like, the main weird part about this whole thing is, like I said, how can he have summoned Morgan if Morgan has been ruling for 2,000 years? How is that possible? But it would all make sense if he summoned, went away, time passed, came back, and 2,000 years have passed. So it all would make sense and all would fall into place if you think about it like that. So there's no two Morgan, there's only one Morgan. However, the time, since it goes differently outside the Lostbelt and inside the Lostbelt, a lot of time passed there. 2,000 years passed, even though not much time has passed outside. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a calculation here. 1 hour is 52 days. That would mean, like, wait a minute. How much time has Beryl spent outside the Lostbelt? I'm trying to think. You know what? Let me take a you know, okay, 1 year. Let me see. How many hours is 1 year? Hours is 1 year. 1 year is 8760 hours. I think so. Wait a minute. Yeah, 8760. Alright, 1 year is 8760 hours, and 1 hour outside the world is 52 days. I'm kind of like, you know, like taking like an average, 52 days in the Lostbelt. So, okay, let me bring out the calculator. I'm trying to make like an average like thing. 8760 multiplied by 52, I think that I said, yeah, 52. Okay, 455,520 days divided by 365, 1,200. So literally 1,200 years will pass. Like 1 year outside the Lostbelt. This is an average calculation. 1 year outside the Lostbelt would be 1248 years inside the Lostbelt. So if Beryl was out for like 2 years or almost 2 years outside the Lostbelt, 2 years would pass outside, while 2,000 years will pass inside the Lostbelt. It's possible, you know, if that's what happened. He went to, like, you know, like he went, summoned Morgan and went out, and then came back again, and 2,000 years have passed. And they're still contracted. It doesn't matter. Alright. I don't know, maybe... Maybe I'm wrong, but this is the only thing that makes sense to me. Like, this is the only way it is possible for how all of this happened. Let's see if I'm correct or incorrect. Let's move on to the story. We'll realize. After the incident at the pit, Marsh and Ash began investigating ruins all around Britain. Okay? Their only leads were the stories passed down within the Mirror Clan and the murals left by the Rain Clan. And so they set out from west to east on a great adventure in search of written records left behind by humans. Between running into moors, getting attacked by anti-Londinium fairies, and fighting the occasional giant monster when Ash felt like it, things were always easy. But when all said and done, these travels became lovely memories. Of course, it helped that Marsh was always so strong and awesome, no matter what. Hey Marsh, didn't you call me by some weird name when we first met? Habitrot, or Habicat. I guess I did, I'm sorry. You look kind of so much like someone else that I know that it just slipped out. Really? There's someone out there who looks just like me? What are they like? But they're like just like you know. I only spent a little time with her, but that was enough for me to know she's a wonderful person. She's brave and kind and dependable, and she spent a lot of time in her workshop making all sorts of clothes. Her name is Habitrot. She's a very happy fairy who wants nothing more than to be friends with brides everywhere. Whoa, so there's a fairy like that in the future, huh? I guess her name does sound a lot like me, and she looks exactly like you. Maybe it's a fake name like Ashes? Maybe she's trying to cover up her true name. Oh, okay, Ashes. Yeah, that's enough, Marsh. You agreed not to tell us too much about the future, remember? Oh yeah, we did say that. You're right, I'm sorry. I thought it would make Totorot happy and I didn't stop to think about what I was doing. It's interesting because, you know, like, obviously, like, Marsh saying stuff about Habitrot. Like, if you think about it, you remember how Totorot kind of told her problems to Marsh about how she is not able to properly, like Sir Hector was like teaching her and she wasn't understanding. So she's like, why am I like this? Why don't I understand anything? Why am I so dumb? Why am I so stupid? While Marsh tried to like cheer her up. And like Marsh telling her about Habitrot is literally giving her the, I guess you could say, the blueprint of the perfect person that Totorot wants to be, which is Habitrot. And I think her actually revealing this little bit about Habitrot became something that motivated Totorot to become more like Habitrot. And now obviously like that is why, like, you know, like I said this before, time doesn't mean much over here, you know, like time is not chronologically going here. Like whatever is happening now doesn't mean that it is happening presently. Like the fact that Marsh is not present currently with us in Fujimaru's team doesn't mean that this is exactly the time where she has been, like, you know, like it's not happening at the same time. Like, no, it is happening. No, it is not happening at the same time. Like everything, like, you know, is like, what can I say? It's time, literally. Like you cannot really chronologically put it like, oh, this is happening and then this is happening. This time that Marsh is not with us doesn't mean this is the exact time Marsh is in the past and this is what is happening over there. Like I don't know how to explain it, but what I'm trying to say is, like, whatever is happening in the past, you know, Habitrot, I think at least, is someone who knew this was going to happen because she already met Marsh in the past. And that's why she's so confident and she's like, oh, Marsh is fine. You know, Marsh is okay, nothing, no harm will befall her. You know, she'll be back. Because she knows. Because, you know, Totorot is the same as Habitrot. Or something like that. It's either her past self or like her reincarnation or something like that. And here, Marsh talking about Habitrot to Totorot, like, made Totorot probably aspire to become more like this person that Marsh is, you know, mentioning. That, where's that part? She's a very happy fairy who wants nothing more than to be friends with brides everywhere. This line. As soon as she mentions it, Totoro probably thinks like, oh, it would be so nice if I become like her, and she probably tries to make effort to become like this Habitrod, while literally Habitrod is herself. So she literally got to know more about her future self and aspired to become like her. That is why she was able to become like her. If you know what I mean. Like, that's what is happening, I think. If Mash didn't, like, mention Habitrod to Totoro, I think Totoro wouldn't become like her in the future. But again, these are all assumptions. I don't know what is happening here. Like, I might be completely wrong. Maybe Habitrod and Totoro are completely different people or fairies. I'm just assuming that they're the same. So I don't know. Let's see. But anyways, yeah, it's interesting to see how like the past and the future are connected. If what I'm thinking is correct. Gotcha. You can be pretty careless sometimes, huh, Mash? I'm sorry too. Still, I like the idea of being a friend to brides everywhere too. That sounds like a great life to me. There you go. You can see how she's now aspiring to become like her. So her knowing about this, like, she literally got to know about her future self, which made her motivated to be like her future self, and that's why she became her future self, if you know what I mean. Kind of like that. Well, they had a lot of conversations like that, so I thought I'd include one for posterity. Anyway, their search through ruins lasted about 5 months. They didn't learn much, but they didn't give up either. They kept doggedly pursuing the threads of Britain's history and eventually arrived at Priestess's prophecy. Oh, it was Britain's first prophecy of destruction, a curse left by the first human, the priestess of the enshrined deity. Wait, what? Wait. They didn't learn much, but they didn't give up, doggedly pursuing the threads of Britain's history and even Priestess's prophecy. Britain's first prophecy of destruction, a curse left behind by the first human, priestess of the enshrined deity. It predicted there would be 4 major wars named after the 4 seasons, like the War of Summer, the War of, but the War of Winter had not yet happened. Okay. They never did find out what it meant. Okay. Really, all we got from our expedition was a lot of fun memories. And while I know I've already written this down several times, let me remind you once again that this took place in Feyera 400. Now, there were only a few days to go until the coronation at Londinium, which would decide the fate of all of Britain. And as one of the key figures in that coronation, Ash needed to return to the castle soon. Okay, I'm guessing this is Totoro who's writing this, because she keeps a diary and everything. There, the needlework's all done. All I have to do now is make the embroidery motifs. I think I'll make a purple rose for Ash and a blue rose for Marsh. Let me see. You did a good job. I have no complaints. You've grown from the crybaby to expert. This is why I love handicrafts. Although I'm not sure about using embroidery for the brooch. Ash is going to be a queen, so she should have something that shines. I think a pattern of beads modeled after the world tree should do the trick. Here, give me that. Let me show you how it's done. Whoa, have you always been that good with your hands, Black Knight? You're like some sort of sewing master. Okay. Totoro's changed so much since you came along, Marsh, and it's all thanks to you. We've been together for hundreds of years, but I've never seen this side of her before. I really am a terrible friend. I was so caught up in fighting, I never noticed what Totoro was going through, and she always been there for me. Oh no, it was nothing. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, that's all. And the only reason Totoro got interested in making clothes in the first place is the upcoming coronation. She said she wanted to make you a gown so pretty that you'd be the fairest fairy in all of Britain. So I'm sure she would have gone on to make a great tailor even if I had never shown up. I doubt that. Like I said, this is like I'm pretty sure Totoro and Habitrot are the same. And even if they aren't the same, the fact that Marsh came here and talked about Habitrot, who's literally the I guess you could say the person that Totoro wants to become, the ideal version of herself. The fact that she mentioned that probably motivated her to become more like that. So that's why I'm saying, even if they are not the same person, it doesn't matter. Marsh coming here and giving her that little hint probably gave her the motivation and the admiration for this person and made her to aspire to be more like her. So if they're the same person, if Habitat and Totrot are the same person, then it would literally mean she got motivated by her future self, by her ideal self. And like self-motivation, I guess, would get a new meaning to this. Like, like she motivated herself, basically. Ash? Alright, I think you deserve to know at least a little of how I really feel. Okay. I'm no savior, Marsh. All I want to do is keep Britain itself alive. I no longer have any intention of saving all its fairies or of protecting humans like you. Huh? What are you saying? You are protecting everyone. I've seen it myself. Here's the thing, Marsh. For the last 3600 years, I've been dispelling the calamities that appear every 100 years and the great calamities that appear every 1,000. Wait, what? Last 3600 years. 3600 means 3600, yeah. I have been dispelling the calamities that appear every 100 years and the greater. Before, when I said I would let the fairies handle the aftermath and go to sleep in a coffin, well, it wasn't the whole truth. Oh. The truth is, every time I saved them from a calamity, the fairies would come after me. I've never known a moment of true peace. The only thing I could ever do was run for my life and hibernate for years at a time. I'm sure that at the start, I really did want to build an ideal nation, but not now, not anymore. Every time I decide to work harder and finally get it right next time, I only ever end up having more stones thrown at me. I've been imprisoned, crucified, beheaded, drowned, burnt. The only thing that they haven't done is poison me. So by now I've stopped putting my hopes in fairies. I see. My only companions are Totorot the Black Knight and Rhynek. I'm not even sure about Uther. Okay. Even they only see me as an important tool, nothing more. So I only fight to protect Britain from myself. It's the only place I belong. Alright. That's why I'm going to unify the fairies and give humans the right to build a kingdom. That's the Britain I want, the sort of story proper human history would never allow. I've never been Ash the Savior, I'm just Ash the Witch. But surely there must have been at least one good fairy, right? Yeah. One who believed in you and understood you? Wasn't there ever a single fairy you genuinely wanted to help? No, there wasn't. Not a single one. That's why things turned out this way. Wait, isn't Totorot a fairy? Yeah, isn't it? No, she came here. Oh, she's talking about the fairies. Oh, okay, never mind. That was a different context completely. Marsh was by this Marsh means like wasn't there someone like like as she said everyone like threw stones at me. What Marsh said was like wasn't there someone who didn't throw a stone at you? But she's like no, everyone did. Okay. Marsh, you came here from the era of the High Queen. I don't know which faction you belong to in that time. I can never know, for if I did, that would change what happens in the future. Yeah, exactly. I've been vacillating for a long time now about whether to kill you or save you. But I don't think it matters now. This is the Fae era, a history entirely of the Tree of Emptiness is making. And as long as the tree exists, anything goes in this Lostbelt. No matter what may be added to this world, it will simply adjust its history to match. Things don't have to make sense in a world with the Tree of Emptiness. The reason Morgan was so cavalier about using the water mirror to send things back in time to the Fae era is her awareness that nothing which changed in the Fae era will affect the start of the era of the High Queen. Oh, that's interesting. I was kind of wondering this. I think I said this myself, that like Morgan like just chugging the calamities back to the past, wouldn't that affect the future? Like how is she okay with that and how is nothing happening? So she literally answers the question here. The reason why Morgan was so cavalier about using the water mirror to send things back in time to the Fae era is her awareness that nothing which changed in the Fae era will affect the start of the era of the High Queen. Because as she says, Mm, I don't think it matters now. This is the Fae era, a history entirely of the Tree of Emptiness is making. And as long as the tree exists, anything goes in this Lostbelt. No matter what may be added to the board, it will simply adjust its history to match. Okay. Things don't have to make sense in a world with Tree of Emptiness. And that's why she said, like, even if I kill you here, Marsh, it doesn't matter by the end of it. You know, because the future is something that is completely disconnected from here. In this Lostbelt, like, you know, era, the Fae era, anything goes. So whatever I do here, it won't matter. I think that's what she's saying. Interesting. Okay. So you're saying worlds created by trees of emptiness can tolerate a fair number of discrepancies without falling apart? Yeah. That's right. That's why I'm here. The Fae era is the last point in time where things can be so wibbly wobbly. The moment you spoke of the era of the High Queen, I had a flash of insight as to how the future must have played out. Okay. She must have used all the magical energy stored inside the Tree of Emptiness to transform this Lostbelt into a singularity. I see, okay. I was wondering, how was she able to transform the Lostbelt to a lost world, as they call it? I still want to know why she chooses to do that until the time comes, of course. But in the meantime, Marsh, I can tell you that you can only exist while the Fae era lasts. In 400 years, at the start of the era of the High Queen, you'll disappear whether you're still alive or dead. You do understand that, right? Yes, I arrived in Britain in year 2019 of the era of the High Queen. Since I didn't exist in that era before that date, when the Tree of Emptiness dies, yeah, she will disappear because, like they said, the discrepancies here in this... okay, I see, I understand what's happening here. So what she's saying here is that it doesn't matter what happens in this era, the Fae era, before Morgan's rule. Being a Tree of Emptiness existing here will allow a lot of discrepancies. So the fact that you never existed before 2019, it doesn't matter here in the Fae era because it is allowed here. But as soon as Morgan's reign will start, the world will turn into a lost world instead of a Lostbelt. History is going to correct itself. You know, as she says, it's going to correct itself and change, like, you know, and so Marsh will literally disappear because she doesn't exist before 2019. However, here they're allowed to have these discrepancies. Okay, I see. Okay, that's interesting. So she's saying that anything can happen here, anything related to time, be it time paradox, be something weird, it doesn't matter. The Lostbelt will allow it, the Tree of Emptiness will allow it. But as soon as the Tree of Emptiness will be sucked out, it'll die, and Morgan will begin her rule, history will kind of fix itself immediately. Like, it's like a, you know, like as soon as the day comes, history will be like, oh, wait a minute, this and this thing should not be existing here. Delete. No, that kind of thing, I'm guessing. Okay. Yeah, I swear, just because Fae era's history can be changed, that doesn't give her the right to send every problem she can't handle back to the past to let nature disappear it for her. You know what? That's actually kind of smart. Yeah, you know, now that I think about it, like, she's like, yeah, like, just yeet it to a time where history itself is going to delete it. So let's just do that. Okay. But, like, I'm thinking, like, this, you know, the law of conservation of energy, it doesn't exist in this whole thing. How can she, like, you know, like, as they say, the law of conservation of energy or matter cannot be created or be destroyed from nothing, like, you know, cannot be created from nothing or cannot be destroyed completely. They just change from one form to another. You know, that is the law of conservation of energy or mass. So what she's doing is taking a calamity and yeeting it back to the past and then the past itself kind of deletes it. It goes so much against the law of conservation of energy, doesn't it? Yeah. Like, we're literally destroying and making something disappear. It's not changing from one form to another. We're taking it from the present, throwing it to the past, and then just deleting it. How is that possible? Or maybe there's like some other explanation to this that I'm not understanding. I don't know. And now she started sending servants as well as calamities. Unbelievable. Oh my god. Yeah, this is kind of complicated, you know. Interesting. That's just pathetic, is what it is. So I guess the least I can do is make things right. Since I'm mixed up in all of this too, it is my responsibility to send you back to the future you came from. Are you sure? No, wait, is that even possible? Yeah, so unless and until she sends Marsh back before the lost belt ends and the lost world starts, Marsh will actually disappear. Because, yeah, if Ash decides to send Marsh back, then it'll be fine. Okay. In a way, yes. It should work as long as there aren't any historical inconsistency leading up to the calamity of Norwich in year 2019 of the era of the High Queen. So how would you feel about hiding out at the farthest edge of the world where no one could ever see you? Wait. It should work as long as there aren't any historical inconsistencies leading up to the calamity of Norwich in the year 2019 of the era of the High Queen. Wait. Send you back to the future. Are you sure? Is that possible? In a way, yes. It should work as long as there aren't any leading up to the calamity of Norwich. Okay? In year 2019 in the era of the High Queen. So how would you feel about hiding out at the farthest edge of the world where no one would ever see? Interesting. Wait a minute. I'm getting a feeling that something else is happening here. She says, so wait, is Marsh going to go back to the present and just going to keep herself in hiding? I'm going to end it here, I think. Yes, I'm going to end it here. Oh no, should I do another one? Okay, before I do another one, let me think. So Ash says that, she's saying that, okay, I can send you back, but if I send you back, you should not change something which leads up to 2019. Because, paradox then, that's going to happen. So we should try to keep everything the way it's going up until 2019. And I could send you back, but you'll have to keep yourself in hiding before you come out. So that is making me think about something. Okay, wait, just a minute. Let me go back to the notes. Fair era 12,000. The world is a sea of nothingness. It's in the sea a tiny island floats. This is the beginning of the British Lostbelt. Okay. Alright. Ash the Savior is born. Cycle of quelling calamities and entering into long periods of slumber begins. War of Summer, there you go. A war between northern fairies led by Queen Mab. Southern fairies, war ends after Ash the Savior's intervention and the second structure is established. War of Autumn, war between fake lands, Savior and humans and lower class fairies. Humans achieve a victory of sorts and their leader, Arthur the Knight, is recognized as the first king to New Britain. Marsh is sent to this time through the Water Mirror. She meets Ash the Savior and company. And here the era of the High Queen starts. Era of the High Queen, first year, Morgan establishes the current order of Fae Britain. Fang clan massacres the Wing clan at 800. The Wang clan is annihilated. Murin is the sole survivor. Morse War, one of the great calamities, war between King of the Morse, High Queen's army. Rhyneck, one of Morgan's retainers since the Fae era, dies. This Rhyneck that, what's her name? Ash talked about. His successor Woodwoos defeats the king. The fallen king is said to have laid a curse upon the Fang clan. You're next. Powerful Fang Clan Fae is born. She goes to become Tamlin Gawain. Caterpillar War. Tamlin Gawain is appointed. Foul Weather, the Lord of Cornwall perishes. 2001. Angel, chief of the Mirror Clan, makes her prophecy. A savior who will save Britain has been born. A true king who will defeat the false king shall appear. And she disappears here. Caldia arrives in Fae Britain, 2019. Wait a minute. Oh, I think I understand what's happening. Marsh is Ainsel, isn't it? Like, it would kind of make sense. Here, the time when Ainsel disappears is 2001, I think. No, wait. I don't know. Wait. Like, the fact that Ash said that you need to keep yourself in hiding and not let something, you know, like, go in a different way than it should to avoid time paradoxes. So can you do that? Can you stay... I don't know, like, oh my god. Like, this is kind of bothering me because it seems like a situation where Marsh will probably come back to the present. However, she'll keep herself in hiding up until, like, the perfect time arrives when we will need Marsh back with us. She'll keep herself in hiding up until that point because, you know, otherwise history will become like, you know, like, will change if she tries to interfere in some way. So that is why I'm thinking the fact that Ainsel suddenly disappeared makes me think if maybe Ainsel is actually Marsh. Like, I might be completely wrong, or I don't know. But this is a big hint, I feel like, to understanding what's going on. Where Marsh is, and... like, I cannot really 100% with 100% confidence say that Ainsel is Marsh, because there's a few things that are still bothering me, and I'm thinking like, how can Ainsel be Marsh? There's a few things, so I don't really know. Like, the fact that Ainsel just disappeared and nobody knows where she is bothering me so much. It kind of makes, kind of like, you know, like, fits perfectly with the fact that Marsh should keep herself in hiding. Because that's what, you know, like, Ash told her. So what I'm thinking is, like, maybe Marsh was sent here and Marsh became like Ainsel or something, and she gave this prophecy and then she kept herself in, like, went into hiding so that she does not change the future. And now, you know, like, because, you know, like, in 2019, as you can see, Calde arrives in Fairy Britain. So the fact that if there's two Marsh, that will be a problem, wouldn't it? So that's why she went to hiding. And now that Marsh has disappeared again, in the future, Ainsel is going to come back and we'll realize that Ainsel is actually Marsh. And she went to hiding because she did not want, like, some, you know, like, historical discrepancy from happening, because there'll literally be two Marsh if Ainsel comes in front of us while this Marsh existed. Because yeah, Marsh came with us here in this Lostbelt and then she got sent back in time. So Marsh came with us here, the time when she was here in this place. If Ainsel comes, then there'll be two Marsh, wouldn't it? To avoid that, maybe she went to hiding? I don't know, like, this is just a guess. I'm like 30% sure. I'm like very, like, I'm very much second guessing my guess. But there is a possibility that Ainsel is actually Marsh, and that is why she went to hiding, because she did not want any time paradox from happening. And now that probably the time is going to come when she's going to reveal herself or something, and we'll all realize that Ainsel has been Marsh all along, or something like that. Again, like I said, I might be completely wrong. There is a high possibility of me being wrong, but let's see. I don't know. Alright, anyways, enough of that. Alright, I'm going to do one more arrow and then I'm going to end this video. Okay, alright. Yeah, let me do double Koya Sky again. Albion. Oh, wait, is this the. Yeah, the Lake District. Does the Lake District exist in real Britain too? Yeah. Of course, it's one of the UK's biggest tourist attractions. Oh, really? It's known for its glacial lakes that seem to stretch on forever and for its steep rocky cake cracks that have never been touched by civilization. In stark contrast to deeply developed cities like London, it still retains the natural beauty it's had for at least 100 years. Wow. Fancy clothes, gourmet meals, and thrilling entertainment are great and all, but there is definitely something to be said for the kind of leisure time when you can just lose yourself in the environment. Yeah. Hey Fujimaru, Artori still hasn't cheered up. What's going on with her? Is this your first time to the Lake District, Artori? Huh? Oh yeah. I was just thinking. So this is the famous Lake District. It's sure is as pretty as the picture, isn't it? Also, just as quiet. Did I mention quiet? Damn, you have no poker face at all, do you? You're obviously still thinking about what Vargas told us, right? Don't keep it to yourself. Is this Belga truly Morgan's master? That is the question. Yeah, I think I pretty much have the answer to that. Belgut is Morgan's master, but what happened is a little bit different because I think when he came here, he summoned Morgan and just left, and since the time moves differently here, Morgan was ruling this world for 2000 years while Bale was outside, and then Bale came back again. Something like that, and that's why everyone is so weirded out as to how can Beryl be Morgan's master even though Morgan has been ruling for 2000 years. I think that's what's happened here. Though of course the real question might be, is Morgan actually a servant? Okay, yeah, I guess that is also a question that we still have. That I don't know. Like, no, she is a servant, isn't she? I don't know, let's see. Because yeah, if that's the version that we're going with, like if my theory is correct, if what I said, then yeah, she is a servant. It's a hell of a conundrum, that's for sure. Fujimaru and I have been going back and forth trying to square that circle ever since we got here. At first I thought Morgan was the king of this Lostbelt. Same, I mean she'd pretty much have to be if she's been ruling here for 2000 odd years. But after meeting Morgan and Beryl and Camelot. You mean when Belle said he was Morgan's master and she didn't deny it? So Morgan's not Belle's servant, but Belle is Morgan's master? Okay, that's a brain buster, ain't it? I don't even know where to begin. Any ideas as to how could that work, Da Vinci? I'm afraid not. That's just too little information to work with. If Holmes were here, he could string up a number of theories together into plausible hypotheses, but he's not. What about you, Artoria? Did you come up with anything? I do have one idea, I think. Alright, let's hear it. I remember what you said about masters and servants and the kind of things Kaldi has done so far. But I'd rather not think about it any more than that. If I'm right, then Morgan would be impossible for you to beat, a fairy you'd rather not even fight at all if you don't have to. Habitat? What's wrong with not wanting to fight her? Who says you have to try and beat her no matter what? Kalia's goal is to acquire Morgan's Rongominiad, and the Child of Prophecy's goal is to ring the 6 bells. Trust me, I hear Ainsley's Child of Prophecy's poem in Londinium enough to last a lifetime. And there's not a single verse in there about killing the queen. Interesting. But Morgan herself told me to defeat her. Yeah, not to kill her, I guess. Did she now? She's just playing everyone's antagonist because she doesn't dare trust anyone anymore. But I'm not saying more than that. All I care about is Mash and Fujimaru being finally united. She's just playing everyone's antagonist because she doesn't trust anyone anymore. Okay. You can't go around trying to please everyone else all the time. Sometimes you've got to tell them to piss off. Yeah. No more chit chat, we've already got a few more heading our way. You remember Vargas' warning, Fujimaru? Good. Then don't hold back, we're all counting on your firepower to get us through this. Not to worry, I have double Koyanskaya and Morgan with me, it'll be fine. Oh boy. Yeah, this is easy.
薬の匂いお参りしていきます日向の匂い火薬の匂いいいでしょう目を背けないでそういいでしょう私の足元で許しを乞いなさい落ちよロードレスキャメロット
Wait, I just realized something. Morgus Noble Phantasm, those things that drop down, those are the Rongomias, aren't they? You know, like they said, like she has like 12 or something of them. I never really realized that, but now I think that's what's happening. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. Biological weapon? What the hell? Okay, whatever. Okay, there you go.
慈悲神戸を垂れよ恐怖は希望もない何人通るにあたわず内側
What the hell? The critical hit. Final on it.
人間の火力ではどうあっても私には及びませんおとなしく我が社に入いいね我が軍門に下りなさい
Okay, took care of that. Man, the monsters really are stronger around here. Yeah. That's because the fairies they used to be were really strong. Makes sense since this used to be Northern Fairies' holy ground. Looks like it's going to take us at least a full day to make it through the Lake District and go to the northern coast. I don't think we'll make it more than halfway today. We should look out for a forest where we can make camp before nightfall. Say, Havertrot, do you maybe know this area? You said you were originally from the north, right? Well, yeah, I guess. This place hasn't changed for forever, so I at least know it's better than the south. Why do you ask, Da Vinci? You want a history lecture from old Habitat? If you could, that'd be great. We never heard much about the Lake District down south. Ah, gotcha. Okay then, but just until sunset. Long ago, Britain used to be way smaller. Back then, this area was all ocean. Okay. At the time, Britain was the only landmass in the world. At least the fairies thought so. So they worked to expand the isle. Then one day, when they expanded it up to where Manchester is now, they noticed that there was a forest on the far shore. That was this place, the British Lostbelt Lake District. A forest in the middle of the ocean. Okay. That's where the northern fairies come from. They'd been living off the fruits of that forest all the time. The northern fairies? So they were Knockneria's ancestors? Yeah, I think so. Yup, the 6 clans and the northern fairies have totally separate lineages. Anyway, back in Fae era 6000, I guess that would be 8000 years ago? Yeah. Britain had its very first war. In it, the northern and the southern fairies fought each other. Wait, just a minute. 6000 years ago, yeah, 4000 era. Yeah. Nowadays, it's only known as the War of Spring, yeah. It happened when the northern fairies got jealous of all the land the southern fairies and crossed the sea to invade it. But even though their leader was super strong on average, the northern fairies were still weaker than the southern ones. Back then, there were no humans on the northern fairy sides, only the southern fairies kept humans. So, the war ended with the southern fairies' victory. Apparently, it was a total massacre. Whenever the northern fairies' successors were born, the southern fairies would just kill them on the spot. Damn. Wait, didn't Ash also fight in this? Yeah. That's where they got all the bodies they needed to fill up the ocean. To fill in the ocean up to the Lake District. Oh wow. They killed so many northern fairies that eventually new generations stopped being born altogether. What happened to the northern fairies after that? Yeah. Everyone thought that they'd gone extinct, but nope, it turned out they were still alive. The leader of the Northern Fairies was made of much sterner stuff than any fairy from the Six Clans. Well, they weren't called the Six Clans back then, but you know what I mean. Anyway, the Northern Queen escaped, left the Lake District, and went on to make the Western Island all by herself out in the middle of the empty sea. Left the Lake District, went on to make the Western Island all by herself. The Western Island, Ireland, became a legendary island that no one could see but existed at all the same. Oh wow! So it's literally the like Med, Skahat, Guhulin, like them versus like British, like Artorian, like that whole thing. And that's why we literally have Med here as Lochnaria. It became the final hope for fairies who were exiled from Britain. A sort of last bastion of castaways. Wait, is that the... Later on there'd be another war between the North and the South? Called the War of Summer. Yeah, I think 2000 years later. But that has nothing to do with the Lake District, so I'll just skip that one. Okay. Anyway, after the First War, the War of Spring, the Southern Fairies claimed the Lake District for themselves and began developing the civilization even further. The fairies that would go on to become the Mirror Clan, and the fairies from Britain's northmost area that would go on to become the Rain Clan, each built thriving cities here. Okay, the Rain and the Mirror. Though of course, as you can see, they have long since been wiped out. Yeah, not sure thriving is the word I'd use then. Then again, the idea of a single country enduring for more than 1,000 years doesn't really fit for us non-Brits in the first place. Morga's Fairy Britain has lasted for more than 2,000 years, remember, because you can't really call it thriving either since it hasn't advanced any in all that time. The Rain Clan, I see, British skies are always cast in twilight. Oh, so it makes sense that there would have been fairies who control the rain and over weather. Oh, I see. But then, why did the Rain Clan go extinct? Did they disappear naturally or? I'll tell you that one once we go to Orkney. Okay. All you need to know for now is that the Rain Clan and their city, Orkney, were destroyed in Feyre 4000. Alright, so in the War of Spring. Oh. No, wait, what? Yeah, why? I was so confused reading this. 2000 years from the war, after the War of Spring. No, Fae era 4000. Like that would be 6000 years ago. Yeah, 6000 years ago then. Now I see. So that's why Ireland's nowhere to be found. Yeah, 6000 years from now means 4000 era. The Northern Fairies must be of Irish descent. Irish descent. And the only Northern Fairy to survive the War of Spring was their queen. But then what happened to the Western Island? Why is that gone too? Yeah. Why do you think? Because the Northern Fairies migrated to Britain, of course. Oh. Mab made that island to keep her fairies safe. She took it all back into herself just before she invaded the British Isle. That was the War of Summer back in Feyre 2000. Ash the Savior and the first Tamlin fought in it too. Wait, oh no, wait. Wait, 4000, the War of Spring didn't, I need to read the notes again. Didn't Ash fight there as well? I remember 2000, however, I need to read that again. Okay, wait a minute. Man, you guys wouldn't believe how strong Queen Mab was. Yeah, you're speaking as if you've seen it. After their failure in the War of Spring, the Northern Fairies coexisted with humans in Ireland for 4000 years. Wait, what? War of Spring 4000 means up until Morgan's rule starts. The Southern Fairies only saw humans as tools for producing entertainment. The Northern Fairies, though, they saw humans as partners and together they built a real civilization. Alright, that's interesting. So even though the Southern Fairies had the numbers advantage, the Northern Fairies were still overwhelmingly stronger. At first, Queen Mab wanted to wipe out the Southern Fairies as payback for what they did to the Northern ones. But eventually Ash managed to broker a peace between the two sides. Yeah, and then Mab, decided to get married to Uther. You know, that whole thing with where they're supposed to, like, the whole coronation ceremony and everything that's going on now. As part of the deal, the Northern Fairies were ceded the north part of Britain as their territory and welcomed into the fold as the King Clan. Oh! Oh yeah, that would make sense because, yeah, Knocknaria is from the King Clan. That's when the 6 clans we have now first came about. The rest you guys already know. Anyway, with that kind of bad blood between them, it's no wonder the Fairies of the North and South still don't get along, even in the era of the High Queen, right? Right, I totally remember my fairy history, yes? Basically, all you have to remember is that there was a big battle between the clans in the last years of Fae era, right before the era of the High Queen began. What about the start of the Fae era 14,000 years ago? Do you know anything about that? Yeah, like when everything started. Nope, there's not a single record of Britain's genesis. Ash and the first Tamlin tried their hardest to track one down, but all they learned was the story of the 6 fairies. 6 fairies as in the clan heads? Yeah. Oh, you already know about it. Yup, it was that mural. Don't remember all that much about it either, but if you want, I'll tell you what I know as a bedtime story. Not that there's all much to it, at best it only makes for a decent lullaby. Okay. Alright, I'm going to end it here. Now, I came to quite a few conclusions after this whole section. I might be wrong completely, but the 2 biggest conclusions that I came to was number 1, where how Morgan is ruling, is ruling here for 2,000 years, even though Beryl is supposed to be her master. My conclusion was that Beryl, that scene we saw where he came here, summoned Morgan, and I would say that she left this Lostbelt and Morgan was left to rule in this Lostbelt. The time difference here, kind of made 2,000 years go by, and then Beryl came back now again here, and so everyone is confused as to how can Beryl be her master even though she has been ruling for 2,000 years. But the time outside goes slowly, so for Beryl it wasn't that long. That is my guess. Might be correct, might be wrong, or I might be partially correct. I'm not exactly sure. Another big conclusion that I came to was that Ainsel is Marsh. The reason why I'm saying this is because when Ash said that if I send you back to the present, will you be able to keep yourself hidden up until the time where you should come out? Because otherwise, time paradox will be a problem, and the historical discrepancies will happen. So can you do that? I think she said something like that, which kind of made me think it's very similar to how Ainsel disappeared after giving the prophecy, and that's why I made the conclusion that maybe Ainsel is Marsh, because she decided to disappear because it was time for us, the original Marsh here to come. So she's keeping herself out of our eyesight so that 2 Marsh doesn't exist at the same time. Like they say, historical discrepancies will happen. That's why she's keeping herself hidden, and she's going to come out very soon. That is why, this is the main reason why I concluded that Ainsel might be Marsh. I might be wrong again, but yeah, these are the 2 big conclusions that I came to. Let me see if I'm correct in at least one of them. Maybe I'm correct in both, or maybe I'm incorrect in both. Let's wait and see. Alright, one thing, the reason why I opened this part is I need to check. Oh, Ash the Savior is born. Oh, okay, so she didn't really fight in Fae Era 4000. She was born. Okay, so this is the spring fight, Fae Era 4000. Fae Era 2000 is the summer war. Okay, where the fight between Map and the Southern Fairies, Ash's intervention, the 6 clan structure, and 400 are the War of Autumn. War between Fae Clan, Savior, Human, lower class Fairy. Human achieve victory, and Uther is the knight. Marsh is sent out to this time through the water mirror. She meets Ash and the Savior and company. Okay. There you go. Right. Alright, things are getting a little bit more complicated. We are kind of getting our answers little by little, but it's still pretty complicated now. Let's see. Let's wait and see, like where this goes. And no spoilers, please. Like I said, these are all the, like the conclusions that I'm coming to, or the theories that I'm coming to. Like, if you know, obviously you guys know, people who have played the JP version knows what's going on. So if it's a spoiler, no need to tell me in the comments. I would like to figure it on my own, even if I'm making mistakes in my deductions, don't correct me. Or, like, you can point it out, I guess, but just don't really spoil stuff. Like, I would like to go through this on my own and come to my own conclusions. And, like, it'll be interesting to see, like, myself figure out whether I'm correct or not, or something like that. But like I said, like, no need to spoil, but I guess you can kind of point it out, but no spoiling, please. Anyways, that is it. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And yeah, that is it. Thank you for watching, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow with another video on Lostbelt 6. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.